I will read two pieces from Mao Zedong from this little red book. The first bit is very, very famous, very well-known one, called Serve the People. Whenever there's a struggle, there's a sacrifice, and death is a common occurrence. But we have the interests of the people and the suffering of the great majority at heart. And when we die for the people, it's a worthy death. Wherever there's a struggle, there's a sacrifice. Nevertheless, we should do our best to avoid unnecessary sacrifice. Wherever there's a struggle, there's a sacrifice. All men must die, but death can vary in its significance. The ancient Chinese writer Sima Qian 写道：人各有一死，或重于泰山，或轻于鸿毛。Though death befalls all men, it may be stronger than Mount Tai or lighter than a feather. Wherever there's a struggle, there's sacrifice. To die for the people is stronger than Mount Tai, but to work for the fascists and die for the exploiters is lighter than a feather. Wherever there's a struggle, there's a sacrifice. Serve the people. And the second one is a piece discussion between patriotism and internationalism. Sounds very strange. But anyway, here we go. Can a communist who is an internationalist at the same time be a patriot? We hold that he not only can be, but also must be. The specific content of patriotism is determined by historical conditions. There is a patriotism of the Japanese aggressors and of Hitler, and there's our patriotism. Communists must resolutely oppose the patriotism of the Japanese aggressors and of Hitler. The communists of Japan and Germany are defeatists with regard to the wars being waged by their countries. To bring about the defeat of the Japanese aggressors and of Hitler by every possible means is the interest of the Japanese and the German people. And the more complete the defeat, the better. Can a communist who is an internationalist at the same time be a patriot? For the wars launched by the Japanese aggressors and Hitler are harming the people at home as well as the people of the world. In China's case, however, is different, because she is a victim of the aggression, and the Chinese communists must therefore combine patriotism with internationalism. We're at once internationalists and patriots, and our slogan is, fight to defend the motherland against the aggressors. For us, defeatism is a crime, and to strive for victory in the war of resistance is inescapable duty. Can a communist who is an internationalist at the same time be patriot? For only by fighting defense of the motherland can we defeat the aggressors and to achieve national liberation. And only by achieving national liberation will it be possible for the proletariat and other working people to achieve their own freedom. And next one is some secret text messages from WikiLeaks. So you know WikiLeaks now very well. And I think the WikiLeaks released 20 text messages, or more than that, I'm sure, on that day of 9/11, when the WTO center being bombed. So I took 15 text messages from that WikiLeaks page. And those text messages is kind of 10 minutes before the 911, the airplane crashing into the tower. So 10 minutes before that, and it ends on I think 6 hours after the event. On the 6 o'clock, some text message unreadable. It's kind of code, messy code. AND 706 TZZ USAF. Anyway, 2 hours later, a real text message we all can read from the police in Washington, D.C., sent to New York. It says, on 8:36 in the morning, Iraq says it shoots down U.S. reconnaissance plane. And 17 minutes later, on the 8:51:31:6, please call Pentagon weather, unclassified. Please call Pentagon weather. Reference 10:30 meeting 703-965 from Andrew J. Taskas, USA Force. 2 minutes later, 10 seconds later, another text says, NYPD Division. World Trade Center, possible explosion, World Trade Center, building level 3, mobilization to church and vessel, emergency. And half an hour later, another text says, dollar tumbles US. Dollar vs Euro, Chinese yuan vs Euro, WTC explosion. "11 seconds later, on the 9:24 a.m., NYC WTC WMS TKT 1911000494. Switch seems to be okay on the South Tower. Overloads in the SM9 of South Tower from high. 6 minutes later, on the 9 a.m. 31 in the morning, NYC. WTC has been hit by an airplane and a bomb currently in B6. It has been evacuated. NCC has received multiple alarms. Optical, environmental updates will follow. Run from NCC 800 824 82449. Just 3 seconds later, another text returned. Final mail, mortgage, delays, benchmark bill, cancels, note announced due to the WTC blasts. "15 minutes later, just before 10 a.m., it's reported that a US military helicopter circled around the building, then crashed into or next to the Pentagon. It's not clear to whether it was the White House or the Pentagon. They are bombing, evacuating. "25 minutes later, another text. Please don't leave the building. One of the towers just collapsed. Please be careful. Repeat after me." And now it's 11 a.m., 30 seconds. "Bomb squared. Please report to Eddie. PERT 913. 30 minutes later, text message answer. "Lines to Washington and Saudi Arabia are blocked or jammed. Couldn't go through. Jim at the FBI had no information. He suggests we watch Fox or CNN. From Chris." So in the 11 a.m., 20 minutes, 52 seconds, another text. "Yes, Eddie and Paul are all right. Paul is still trapped in his building, which is next to the WTC." "9 minutes later, just before 12 o'clock in the noon, I'm okay. I saw the whole thing. I was on the roof looking at the first fire when I saw the second plane plow into the second tower. Unbelievable, literally. I was inside when it collapsed. I'm still in my apartment. Nowhere to go. This is the end of the world as we know it." 11 p.m. "Jamie, you are needed in the war room ASAP." PM 25:54 seconds. "Eddie, I'm not dealing with this shit. I will call Justin in earlier. Ford shut down the plants. I'm not answering why they are still working there. Fuck this." From Rider Little John with extension line 18914. And here's a text message on the 5 p.m. 20 minutes 30 seconds. "Honey, I wanted to tell you how much I love you. I was a little worried. I don't want to lose you now that I got you back. You mean everything to me. You have my whole heart."